Before we get started with part 2 today, I wanted to preface with a couple statements. I've been contacted with some people from the dev team as well as some other fans of the current development of Ground Branch, and there's a lot of stuff going on as far as it's going to update the game. I'm showing you Toady, which is one of the people working on the animations, and one of the animations was shown was a prone animation, so my point is, the current stuff we see going on in the game is not reflective of what the final product will be. Since it is a beta, there's always going to be some stuff evolving, and hey, if the stuff I'm playing and showing in my footage right now changes in the future, hey, that's all good, because that means we get to have a first look experience again. In fact, they use Trello, which is a really good project management software that a lot of programmers use, to outline a roadmap for other stuff that they're working on for Ground Branch. So a lot of good things going on for this game. Can't really say the same about every other indie game that's in the whole tactical realism FPS that I've come across. The second thing is that this video is going to go over a lot of the gear customization and the weapon customization that Ground Branch offers, and we won't really get to the Shoot House until the second half of the video. I'm going to put up a timestamp, so if you want to skip through to just the Shoot House portion, you'll be able to do that. Okay, so this is like a customization screen, it seems. I don't imagine that we really care what we look like at the moment, but the fact that they're allowing this amount of customization is cool. Site 0, Micro T1 called it raised, meaning it's on a high mount, lower 1/3 co-witness, ammunition. Mark 25, I didn't check my pistol, I should have. It looks like 3 frag grenades, 2 distraction devices, or flashbangs, and 10 polymer magazines. They're saying polymag, I guess it's a PMAG, and 10 polymer magazines of 5.56, 30 rounds each. If we go towards the weapon, it looks like we actually have a lot of choices between some pre-builds, and I imagine we can take those pre-builds and modify them further, create new kit based off this item. And dude, let's stick with something basic for now, just so we can get used to the controls. I do like me some suppressed MP5 though. That is my stuff right there. Now, how does add red dots to MP5? Attack light, attack laser, rails, rail adapters. I'm guessing since it's an MP5, we'll need a rail adapter of sorts. So yeah, we'll drag that. Looks like there's only one place to put it, so it only gives you one place to put it. If it comes to the iron sights, it actually... Okay, we can't remove the iron sights from the weapon, so the iron sights stay. But if we just want the rail adapter, we drag it into place. Okay, we're good to go. And if we check out some sites, looks like we've got AccuPower, we've got ACOGs, we've got a lot of different sites going on here. Unfortunately, I'm just looking for a very simple red dot. What they have is an ASR in this game. Looks to be a Seymour, like, competition style of red dot. This is actually the red dot that would have been popular in military applications before some more rugged options came along. I'm not the hugest fan of EOTechs in the world, and it looks like we can drag one sight to replace the other, so that's nice. And we have the option to zoom in on the weapon, to rotate it, and to just pan around it. So a lot of customization features, which I can honestly say are really, like, outshining Tarkov's level of customization at the moment. We're gonna run an EXPS EOTech. I'm not a fan of EOTechs in real life, but in games they work great because they don't crap out on you, so that's cool. You know what? Let's keep that like that. If we were to try the other rail adapter here, question is, can we put a grit up there? Considering that that place is kind of far forward. It almost looks like we can if we can find one small enough. And it seems that none of these grips are small enough to fit on this rail, which is why they're ending up red. So they actually won't stand up there, and it's not like we can put another rail on the SD itself. So maybe we'll stick with this for now, and then when it comes to... Yeah, you have to go on the green highlight in order to get something where it should be. When it comes to doing a little bit more work, we'll go with like a suppressed MP5, no SD version. That way we can get something like actually rail mounted. We'll drag that away so that's not in the way, and we'll just run the MP5 SD and see how it goes. We've got everything from gloves to footwear to pants, clothing, combat rolled sleeve, combat shirts. Let's go with something a little casual. I'm more of a casual guy. Polo, I like polos. Jeans, I like jeans. You know what? Homeboy already came casual. We're good to go. Night vision seems to be standard, so we'll stick with it. Mark 25 pistol. Yeah, they're talking about the SIG. Do they have a Glock for me? There we go. G19 Custom Patrol and G19 Custom Urban. I don't really know what the difference is between them, but I'll rock the G19 for now. Let's see what kind of customization you got for me. By the logo we see here and the stippling work, the grip reduction, this all looks like an agency arms Glock, perhaps? And not one of their nicer packages. Maybe one of like their $1,100 packages versus their $3,000 packages. But I mean, look at that front slide texture. That's definitely agency arms all over it. If the A didn't tell you, but maybe this is kind of an in-game knockoff in order to make sure that they don't get sued or whatever. I don't know if they cleared it with the people or not. Even the light, we can choose forward and back positions for the light. That's interesting. If I can get it back on now. Let's run it back so it's not taking up too much space. Looks like we're starting out with a threaded muzzle. Meaning, yep, pistol suppressor is available. And nice, since we're attaching stuff, we might as well go like balls to the wall. And it looks like they have Terran Tactical magazine base plates. Licensed from Terran Tactical, because that is definitely his logo, and it does say Terran on it. Maybe the logo is a little bit altered and I didn't know, but that's also definitely a Surefire X300 light. I owned one of those for a little bit. I sold it. It was a little bit too big for my needs. And a little bit too heavy, and I really like single cell lights now. Also, they have lights out now that you can plug into a USB and recharge, and like you're good to go. And you know what? Give us back one of those rifles. So we got AK, 74s, no 47s yet. Vintage FAL, Galil SAR, updated FAL. A couple of M16s, M4, 416s from H&K, Heckler & Koch. And then of course we have a like base Mark 18. This Mark 18 has an ACOG attached. I'm not sure I like that so much, because I do like to have some close range sights available. Perhaps, oh, took away my magazine. You know what, 35 round mag, why not? Let's see what else we can do here. So we've got the 4-power ACOG up top. I wouldn't mind having weapon lights. Not really doing anything with lasers right now. We'll worry about that when we go to CQB. Let's see if we can get something angled to compensate for that fixed power ACOG that we have up top. Let's see. I suppose it would be under mounts, rails, offset rail. There we are. So we take an offset rail. We can't put it behind the ACOG here, but we can put it just in front of the ACOG, so it's closer. It's close as it can be to the shooter. Meaning that the red dot won't be super far away with something we have to like reach for to get to. And as for mounting something like that, I think an 8.21 makes a lot of sense as a micro. Although, could be Trijicon gang and just run another MRO up there. So we have ACOG and the MRO. MRO is what I'm currently rocking in real life right now too, so makes sense. Little big, not gonna lie. Taking up a lot of space. I don't like that when I drag a magazine or any other thing that it's like instantly pulling it away. Like I'm not trying to get rid of it, I'm just forgetting that I need another thing to rotate. Yeah, that's pretty large, and part of that is the fact that there's a mount on a mount there. Do we have something that doesn't stick out as much? Just a nice low mount. Maybe the T1 is actually going to be the thing to go there. Yeah, that's sitting a lot lower. It's probably going to be a lot more useful. But that gives us a chance to actually try out the feature for changing sights. So we can try that out. In the meantime, we can also put ourselves on a little bit of a grip here. Don't really care for bipod grips myself. Angled grips can be decent enough for what you're doing, but having a stubby pretty much gives you the ability to do whatever you need to. Although, oh, I see. There's like a maximum
distance that I can set it. Whereas I can't really change my stock position either, so I can't put my stubby grip all the way forward like I would like to. What if I choose a hand stop grip? Still, huh. So I wonder how we even consider SBRs if I can't go that far forward. Maybe they just have some limit for some other reason. Same with a bipod. A bipod would be more useful the farther forward it is. But whatever, we'll stick with the stubby for now. They have a standard AR suppressor, which if we zoom in on, it looks like they have advanced armament VF, which I don't know if that is supposed to parody the real advanced armament, but it does look like an AAC M4 2000, which is like the most basic suppressor you can have, and also one that I'm quite familiar with. Alright, let's save that as is and apply it. So yeah, if you notice at the top here, we have game mode, training, map, kill house, author, Blackfoot Studio. So I imagine once community builds up, you'll actually have like author Shooter Q, or I don't know, author Cliff Blazinski, because he's like, yo, I'm tired of making games. It's time to make. It's time to make. Sorry, it's time to make Ground Branch maps. That's my new calling. So we'll go in blind at first, and then we will worry about, let's go with like CQB 416 or M4. The basic M4 wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't mind that. M4 Block 2, Mark 18. Let's go with another Mark 18, just not the Mark 18 I'm rocking right now. I'd rather change the sight out. Gotta get used to this actually, like moving versus other stuff. 30 round magazine, sure, we won't worry about the big boy. We won't worry about the big boy 35 rounder. And you know what? Just to keep things realistic to what it actually is, let's roll with the MRO. We'll put it about just over the ejection port. I don't run this mount, but I do run an MRO at this height, so something I'd be used to. Change that up. Let's change our setup up just a little bit, and we'll try to do this a little bit more speedily. Or as a lot of people have heard in the military, expeditiously. That's not a real word. Don't ever say that to people. Let's pull out an MP5 again. We could pull out a 12 gauge, but we'll be loading as much as we're shooting, which can be problematic. Although, I do like the idea of running through this with a Mark 48 belt-fed machine gun. Interesting that they classify the AKS-74U as a submachine gun the same as Call of Duty Modern Warfare did back in the day. One thing I don't like about this is like you have to drag this over until this green part is highlighted in order to attach something. You can't just like kind of put it in a basic position. It kind of fights you, but it's also like it's there to make sure you're sure and that you're going to be precise with your decision. So I get it. I get it, but I'm like, oh no. And if we're running indoors, I would like something with an open window. We ran the MRO already. We could go for one of the Russians. Red dot, like OQP7 or something like that. But I also think I wouldn't be upset with running just irons. What I'd really like is a laser, but I don't know if I can put a laser on this particular sight. On this particular weapon, I don't know if the customization allows for it. Yeah, they won't let me just like drop a laser on top of my rail and make that be my rail. Or like that be my sight, pretty much. That would be fun though, if they let me. As far as mounts go, yeah, I don't think they have anything that I can actually attach to the front. So it looks like we'll be going laserless unless we came out with a different MP5, something with a rail forearm. In the meantime, I suppose we'll just go with a good old try and true EOTech. And a suppressed MP5, but not an MP5 SD. So one of the things I initially overlooked was this whole thing about customization. Like obviously there's character, you can set your clothes and all that, but you can actually set up your gear in this game, which is something that I haven't even seen in like Wildlands. In Wildlands you can choose different gear. A lot of that was just product placement for them. But by actually setting out what you have on your gear, you can determine how much ammo and what kind of gear you're going in with as far as equipment. And that's because you get 2 per primary magazine pouch. So, or 2 secondary magazines, sorry, pistol. I said primary because I thought pistol. And so while you move around your character here, you're able to rotate them, but you're not able to place anything on their back at the moment. What you can do, though, is you can select primary or secondary ammo, which automatically goes to what your primary and secondary weapons are and puts magazines like that on there. Or you can drag individual styles of magazine to a certain slot, and it creates like a pistol slot with 2 magazines in it, and then you can see like what it adds. So in my case, what I did is I went to primary ammo, which in this case is our 35 rounders for our M4, or our Mark 18, our AR build. And I added 1, 2, 3, going from the middle to the right side for our shooter here. And then I gave him 1 secondary pouch ammo. It doesn't attach perfectly right now, but again, with a system like this, I'm just impressed that it exists at all, and this actually determines what you go in with instead of just having a default load of whatever you're carrying. Let's say you wanted to get something like some special equipment. Binoculars I didn't really use that much, but they do have their own like little, or not little, it's a very big like general purpose pouch that we see here. But we can drag that off and get rid of it just like we did the weapon customization. Having this be the same system as their weapon customization is definitely going to keep players from getting confused as much. So let's say we want to go with a breach charge instead. We don't have to pack the detonator comes with it. But we can pack 2 breach charges, which I imagine these are fold-out water charges inside the big pouch, and then the small detonator in the little small zip pouch in front there. So with that, we still have space for more. So let's go to grenades, and let's say we want, nothing but flashbangs because we don't want to cause any like noise or collateral damage with the frag grenades. We can drag these over and fill up these pouches. I did find it kind of like, this takes up a lot of space for 1 flashbang. I imagine, like in my mind, a flashbang and a pistol mag are almost the same thing. Flashbang's a little bit wider, so if you have a stretchy pistol mag, you can stuff a flashbang into it, but hey, whatever. That's the way they're playing it right now, and again, this is beta, so it is what it is. Let's see, if you drag on the middle, it seems to, I don't know what it connects to, but it seems to grab something kind of random. So in this case, we load up 4 flashbangs, 2 pistol mags, 3 double pouches of primary ammunition, so like AR mags. And you know what, for the middle, let's, for the sake of math, just to make sure we're good, you know what, let's say like one of our buddies is carrying like a bigger weapon than us, and he's got something we don't have. We want to make sure we have ammo for him later on. Let's say we put a SVD mag there just for the sake of it, and we say save, and then when we go over here, we'll actually see the readout of everything we've got. So we've got our sight 0. I don't know how to change that yet. I played around with it and find the setting. It might be there. And we've got, say, 4 pistol mags, 6 rifle mags, 4 flashbangs. Doesn't show my breach charges, but I know they're there. And then the 2 10-round SVD mags that we added for our like potential buddy that doesn't exist. And we can actually save this as a loadout here so that we can create new loadouts. Now, I imagine that if we click our previous loadout, you'll actually see it load in with what I already had put together, which is 3 flashbangs, 2 breach charges, and then a little bit more primary ammunition since, you know, I'm running that rifle. I could probably replace pistol mags with that. So that's kind of cool. It just feels like everything has been like super quiet to me, and I don't know if that's me or not. Oh, it was actually on the stairs the whole time. Interesting. It is a beta though. So hit start. Oh, you actually click. Alright. So we can open doors slowly, just like old school Rainbow Six. I like that. And then we can open doors all the way. Close the door, check behind the corner. Okay, we're good to go. No shoot, meaning these walls. We'll clear a corner up to here, and then we'll worry about that door later since it's closed. That target's down. I do like the target system. How they fall to let you know that they're done. Alright, so we'll call this hallway good. We'll start working this door ourselves. Move back to the branch of the wall. Well, to keep a hold of the door, which requires that you hold F, look at the door, and then hit the mouse wheel forward here. And this will allow us to pie out this room. Go ahead and open this all the way so we can see as much as we can. And then we'll have to just press that corner that is unknown to us, which we don't see anything. And that's a no-shoot target. Hands up, handcuff him. We're good to go. No one behind here, so we're good. Might be time to take a mag change, since we don't really know how many rounds we fired so far. The one thing I don't like right now is that... Okay, let's say I'm opening this door. And then I decide for whatever reason, hey, I'm going to kick this door open, like, completely. Since I've already opened it partially up. If I hit the F key, it does that. But if, let's say, I pull the door all the way here, and then I hit the F key, it closes the door on me. I guess it calculates if it's more open than closed, it will close. If it's more closed than open, it will open. Versus like, hey, just keep going the direction we were going, because that is, you know, what I actually want to do. So that's interesting. But I really do like this target system for this purposes of a kill house. It'll be more interesting once we have a simulation with things that shoot back, so we can see what mistakes we're making. So in this case, I'm just going to fling the door open because I don't want to trap myself in that corner. And then pretty much pie my way out of here. I can see why it would be desirable to have this as a toggle versus a hold. Since we can actually play this game nice and slow. No one hiding underneath that no-shoot target. Huh, there's actually nobody here. Interesting. And you know what? Since we are doing a lot of like methodical room clearing, I think I will go back to the toggle lean and stick with the default. Trust the devs on that one. Because that's actually something I don't have to hold while I'm actually moving. That way I can pie out here and aim like that. Interesting. Go back to muzzle ready. Let's clear this side of the room since this door is more towards the area that we came from. And we'll start out door all the way open. Lean out. Slowly, slowly, section by section, section by section. Got a no shoot there. Don't know what else is behind the door. Gonna close the door a little bit here to give me a little bit more cover. Hop in this way. Another no shoot. Nothing going on. Okay. The dude's down. We can take a wide angle on here. You know what? And that's actually a good point, like how I didn't see that target initially. There are reasons that if your weapon low ready like this, so you can actually see around your environment and not have your gun up. When your gun is up, you're actually blocking your vision from everything low. Like if I were to aim this way, look at where my hand is and where that target guy is. And even when I came in, part of my optic was blocking where he was. I wasn't doing a proper scan. Whereas if you're low ready and you come up on a target, you can actually aim on that target right after. So that's kind of cool. Also, one of the things, I didn't notice this before, but I really like how the weapon is more centered than any other game I played. A lot of games you play, especially like using Call of Duty as an example, they have that rifle way up high on the camera perspective so they can show off a lot of their model details. Whereas if you actually have your weapon low ready, you kind of have it, or ready position muzzle forward like this, you have it centered as much as you can so that your body is not twisting with recoil. You're more taking the recoil straight in the chest where your pec muscles can handle it and where you can fight it with your whole body, right? And then you bring it up like this. So I kind of really like that centered style. All right, re-clear this hallway since we're alone and we don't have friends. If I had flags, we would like throw flags on the doors to mark them like, hey, this has been cleared. All right, opening this door, getting as much information as we can. Taking target by target. We got a table there for cover. Close this back just a little bit. Short muzzle does allow you to not expose that much through the door. Can run through that door a little bit. Oh, the exercise is over. Interesting. So I imagine you could run through Call of Duty style and just try to get like a really good time. But you can also just take this to kind of work on your tactics. And in that case, we didn't even aim, we point shot. And the reason we rushed this corner of the room is because we've already shot some dude in this side. This guy knows we're here, but he can't really see us. So if we rush this corner of the room and cut him off, we can put rounds on him while we maintain movement. And that's just because we don't have a buddy. If we had a buddy would be running around this side, checking this corner, and then our guy would be just like pushing this guy and driving him into the ground. Huh, so that's it for the shoot house, but it's pretty cool. And I imagine that once we hit the button on the outside, everything will reset. So let's try to do something that I always like to do in Siege. We'll actually run the rifle dry, and we'll switch to pistol when we need to, if we actually run dry. So if we go reset, looks like total Oh, that's kind of cool. You can change the number of friendlies and enemies. So let's max that up. Let's act like we're taking on an army of dudes in here. Why not? 41 armed men in there and 4 friendly, so we still have no shoot targets. And we'll try that. We're not going for best time or anything, but we will go for... I wonder if you have Steam friends. Yeah, this would be cool. If you have friends on Steam, their time should be displayed on this as well, along with their names. So we got 4 friendlies to worry about. We got a pistol fully loaded, and we got a rifle that should have decent amount of magazines in it. We'll go reset and make sure we have the ammunition, just in case. Start it off. Didn't like to expose myself to 2 targets at the same time, but what can you do? Getting stuck in that doorway. How many shots is it taking to put down a target? Looks like 2, but we don't want to get in the habit of double tapping. If you double tap all the time, the one problem you'll run into is that you find yourself in real life. Ooh, see, this is why you should have cleared this hallway before you go in the door, because someone can rush you while you're working the door. Of course, you would actually have teammates to hold down this stuff instead of doing this solo, but if you ever find yourself doing stuff solo, good to know that you have the tactics to do so. And in this case, we went dry, so we'll go pistol out, finish that. We'll fall back a little bit with the pistol. We don't want to work with the pistol completely. We'll tack reload our pistol from an area that we know is safe, knowing that it's full and ready to go for the next time. We'll pull up our rifle, get that loaded up. Alright, and then we're good to go. Yeah, a lot of the stuff we would do in games that you would do as a solo player is like, in real life, this is why you have teams of goons to do stuff with you, because this stuff is extra dangerous. Alright, in this case, we'll actually work the door a little bit. See what we can see from here. And see, like that again, having my optic up kind of hurt my ability to see what I was trying to see. And this is where visible and IR lasers when running night vision can be very, very useful. Now, notice that when we come through here, the muzzle gets in the way and it takes a little bit to get that muzzle out, versus if we were to drive through here, that muzzle doesn't come up. So it's like if we're holding the side and we try to sidestep through, our muzzle takes time to get re-ready to shoot. But if we push straight through and turn, we can actually put that muzzle towards him a lot easier. This wide corner is a really easy way to take this room. Problem being that there's a lot of targets for one guy to handle. And I'm exposing myself to a lot of stuff, whereas I would need teammates to do this cleanly and safely. But that's why, like, nobody does this stuff alone unless you're crazy. That's also why, like, there's that whole thing, like, even if you're very well trained and you're very well armed, if you think someone's in your house and you're outside of your house, no one goes into their own house. You call the police, who have people that are going to do this with them. Doing this stuff by yourself. Like, exposing yourself just to one guy, you might be exposing yourself to a ton of guys, you know? And you have enough ammo on you to constantly keep your rifle loaded with you're taking down how many targets? And see, by doing that, we're actually able to get on target with that guy faster rather than have our muzzle blocked by the door. Even with this short-barreled rifle, which is like this is like a 10 3-inch rifle, man, like 10.3 inches, and we're still coming up against the door like that. I guess, hold on, let me try something. So if we come up at the low ready, we don't have to worry about that, but then actually like bringing the gun to bear from that is a little bit annoying. If we come high ready, the rifle's already like clearing this side, and then we come here and then we can shoot from the high ready. So that's good to know. Alright, so high ready and low ready won't just be for LARPing. Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. Alright, let's take this last room, shall we? Again, with the door hinges being away from us, I don't really want to be fighting from that corner, so we'll just go ahead and open the thing and clear it out from there. And it ends up being a corner anyway, so it works for us. So as far as I'm concerned, that left corner is cleared. Change angle if you think someone already knows where you are. And that way you either change the side you're coming at if it's central cover, or you're changing your elevation so you're not coming around the side that they expect. Nice. We didn't shoot a single no-shoot. I do like this kill house setup, though. I wonder if these targets change when we have the amount change. We'll try that one more time, and you know what? We'll do it a little bit speedier this time. Yeah, you know what? So that's cool, because if you're playing this with teammates and you're just practicing with each other, you can actually have teammates like set up top and like watch you as if they were actually running the kill house. Pretty cool. For this, I'm kind of wondering what those metrics will be, and if it's just because it's a submachine gun or how they're going to classify it. And let's have a little fun. We'll set this to full auto. Have a blast. I want to see if I can make better use of that running mechanic. Oh, hello. Aiming? What is aiming? Oh, empty. Alright, change weapon, change plane. Work it, work it. And we're empty on that. Still got a dude in there. We're not going to pop out in front of the door. We'll still work the door here. We don't have to give that up. What I do like is every time you move, your sights are disturbed, so you can't just like make a very smooth movement with your sights, like staying right where they are. That's a lot harder than it seems. Oh, hello. That's a bad thing. Alright. Let's call ourselves loaded up before we go back out. Reload the MP5. Switch to your MP5. See what we can catch outside of the door here. These two are down. Oh, snap. I shot a no-shoot. So they do change the target positions. Interesting. And I couldn't tell because the hands were, like, so bright. There's this corner here. I'm pretty sure I can see someone in here. Yeah. And we were empty, so that was a bad deal. And we're making all sorts of mistakes here as far as exposing ourselves to targets and whatnot. I just wanted to play with the mechanics, so I wanted to see, yeah, if I could come up here in the high ready and have, like, a different experience in that regard. Yeah, ammo goes fast. I'm not jumping into political debate, but whenever you see people that are like, oh, you know, why do you need so many rounds, when they look at, like, what a civilian is allowed to purchase as far as, oh, I have no 1911 ammunition left. They really want you to run it like a secondary with that default ammunition allocation, I guess. When people ask, like, hey, why do you need so many magazines, or how much ammo do you need, it's like, you don't really know. If you have more, you're always covered. It's only less that's going to get you messed up. That takes care of that. We'll go ahead and reload while we're on our way here. Looks like we can run while we're reloading. Can we sprint while we're reloading, though? Let's try it out. Nah, the sprint, like the actual sprint, cancels the reload really hard. And it's not like we can shoot while doing that. Whereas I can run and I can fire. I think. Hold on. Let me try that again. That didn't work. Yeah, I can run and fire at the same time. Sprinting, however, cannot sprint while shooting. Or cannot shoot while sprinting, rather. Don't mind that door. One of the dudes I used to work with, like, he would joke, like, why are we always looking behind doors? Like, we're looking for, like, 2mm thin men that fit behind doors like this. But, you never know. Someone can really be doing some ninja stuff on you and, like, pulling themselves behind a door. So it's good to check. You know, like that. That's how you check behind a door. Wounded. Friendly. Killed one friendly. Enemies all killed, though. Let's try that again, but let's try that with our M4 setup. Just one more for this. I just want to see what I can do here. Or you know what? Let's do something a little bit different. Let's go with 1014. Different shotgun. What is this other shotgun they're giving us? I have no idea what that is. Honestly, it looks like one of the French shotguns that I don't know much about. But the Benelli M4 1014 as the military designation. Benelli calls it their M4. I think that should serve us well enough. Although, I wouldn't mind having just a little bit of little bit of something, something to help us out. So since there's a rail, we'll work with the red dot. Slapping like a night vision sight on the shotgun. You can dream it, you can build it, right? Let's slap a T1 on there, on a low mount, because that makes a lot of sense. And since we're running the extra rail up front attached to the magazine, let's see if we can get a rail on there, or we can get a laser on there. Visible laser. There we are. Let's rock that. See if we can work it like this. I can't shotgun doors down. Game's broken. Also, couldn't aim between two targets and hit him with buckshot. Oh, that's interesting. If you hit reload once, you only load one shell. So you actually have to hit reload multiple times in order to load each shell. It doesn't just do it for you, like, automatically after you start. That's a no shoot. That's a shoot. Shoot. Nothing like 12 gauge to put people down. I was shooting past that guy. I noticed that the spread of the shotgun didn't actually hit him. I was able to shoot past him. No problem. Typical buckshot out of 18.5-inch barrel. Double aught buck. Well, actually, I'm like tapping R right now in order to reload as much as I can. And you notice like his hand get rebuffed when that tube is completely full and he can't load anymore. Yeah, typical buckshot from an 18.5-inch barrel is going to spread about an inch per meter of travel. Also, one of my MP5 magazines is still here. That's interesting. Alright, let's load up before we go. Also, just like real life shotguns, one of the advantages is that you top off instead of changing complete magazines. Which I believe even in some VR games, some people are learning is an advantage. Oh, kind of missed there. Should confirm that worked through my sights. Went empty here, not going to bother reloading the shotgun. Just going to go with the pistol. That's a no shoot. That's a shoot. The Glock. We are still at the, like, kind of high ready, compress ready. I would call this high compress ready in my schooling, but I'm really not a fan of like really like concrete terms to try and like make people say the same things, even though we all are saying the same thing with different terms. You know what I'm saying? I feel more comfortable just saying like, yeah, it's at my chest, it's pointed forward. I get it. I'm also trying to figure out what these sights are. These sights look very, very similar to like Tango Down sights with the U notch with the bucket, but they could be something else entirely. It could just be any sort of generic night sight. In any case, let's get the secondary loaded back up. Remember, your secondary weapon is your parachute that just, or your reserve parachute that just saved you when your actual parachute, your main weapon, went down. So you want to make sure that you are keeping it loaded. Also, I keep hitting T to activate my laser. T is the all chat in this game. T and Tarkov is the activation for the laser. Now I wonder, since they're gonna have AI that you fight against, if the AI will notice your laser. One of the things that's kind of lacking in Tarkov right now is other players will notice your laser, but the AI couldn't be bothered. And again, bringing a long arm through a door like that, he could see me well before I could actually put a gun on him. Just because I was coming up so much. Now, if we hit the door like this, you'll notice that it only goes up like as far as us. But I'm hitting it to open it right now, and it wouldn't open. What I would like is a quicker activation for light on and off. That way you can do momentary lighting instead of having to go through a menu in order to turn it on and off. That would be nice, but hey, you do what you gotta do. 1, 2. Notice we load the chamber first. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I haven't played Ready or Not. I don't even know if they have a playable state for players to try. But one thing I remember is that you could actually definitely bust a lock off of a door just with... Let's go high Ready here. Yeah, so we come through the door. Not great, but a little bit faster in terms of being able to actually shoot as soon as we come through the door. But yeah, one of the things that Ready or Not does is they're able to let you like bust hinges and locks off of the door with your 12 gauge. So I think that's all the time I want to put into the Shoot House. I just want to see what it offered, and while still getting used to the mechanics and the controls, and also seeing what the game's going to offer in terms of CQB challenges. So that time was a minute longer, mostly because we sat around yakking.
So just to go back to the roadmap, which I will provide a link to in the description below, some of the things I'm looking forward to are light sticks for marking things that have already been cleared or just whatever players decide to use them for. The updated door and window functionality, since I had a little bit of trouble with the doors in the shoot house. The armor system, which I assume is for incoming and outgoing fire, will be nice. And also the mag and ammo check. Not just for the sake of tactical realism and authenticity, which this game is really trying to support, but just the fact that I've gotten really used to it in Tarkov, and it's something that I wish I had in almost every game that doesn't just provide straight up a UI of how many bullets you have. I think it's a nice compromise that we should see in future kind of like Rainbow Six, Ghost Recon, Legacy games. One of the things I'm really looking forward to that's on this roadmap is objective-based PvE. I think that's going to provide a very simple game mode that content creators can really work into. People can jump in with their friends and get down and dirty on. And I think stuff like that is really going to stand up the game and make it accessible to a player base to look at on Twitch or YouTube and be like, oh, hey, that looks like fun. I want to go try that, whether they're into the old school Rainbow Six vibe or not. Hopefully that will get them into it. Alright guys, that's it for today. Be on the lookout for part 3. It's probably going to take me a little bit longer because when I first recorded solo versus AI gameplay, I really didn't know what I was doing with the mechanics, and it's really just me blumbering around. So I'd like to be able to better show off some of the mechanics of the game, and in order to do that, I need to record some better gameplay. So I'll get that out as soon as I can. Also, if you're interested in Ground Branch, be sure to share the website and Steam page around with your friends. It's very, very important that when we see indie game devs doing some stuff that we like, that we get the word out and support them financially so that they can bring their final product to fruition. And if you really want to, share around this video specifically, because I think I'm building a good first impression series of someone that's not familiar with the game, showing off exactly what their impressions are coming into the game for the first time. So I'll see you guys around next time. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. Laters.